In this video, I want to have a look at the signs of our three trig functions in the four quadrants. So I've got our graphs of our trig functions here. So our blue one is sine, the green line is cos, and the red is tan. I've also got our little number plane here. So we've got our 0 degrees starting here. Our first quadrant is between 0 and 90 degrees. So on our graph here, that's sort of this direction. So you can see here that sine, cos, and tan are all above that line in this quadrant, so they're all positive. So in this one, all our trig functions are positive. In our second quadrant, between 90 degrees and 180 degrees, you can see that sine is positive, but cos and tan are both negative. So only sine is positive there. In our third quadrant, we're looking between 180 and 270, and you can see that in this one, tan is positive, but sine and cos are both negative. In our last quadrant, between 270 and 360 degrees, cos is positive, but sine and tan are both negative. So they're all positive in the first one, then only sine, only tan, and only cos. Now the easy way to remember that is a little saying, all stations to central. So that'll help you remember which functions are positive in which quadrants. Okay, so when we're looking at problems involving trig and the different quadrants, a term that you're going to need to know is the related angle. So related angle is the acute angle a ray makes with the x-axis. So for example, if we had an angle coming up this direction, and we knew that this was an angle of 140 degrees. The related angle is this angle in here. So it's the acute angle that that ray makes with the x-axis. So it would have a related angle of 40 degrees. If we have a look at another one, if we had a ray coming down this direction, and we knew that this was 200 degrees, then our related angle would just be this bit in here, which would be 20 degrees. So we're going to be able to use our related angles to solve trig problems. The first example I want to have a look at asks us to find the value of sine 210 degrees. So first off, we're just going to draw ourselves a little diagram. 210 degrees we know is down in this quadrant, so we're going to draw a little ray in there. It doesn't matter if it's exactly on the right angle, just as long as it's in the right quadrant. Then we need to find our related angle, so this one in here. So if this ray is at 210 degrees, our related angle, because this line's 180, our related angle will be 30 degrees. The other thing we need to remember is whether sine is positive or negative in that quadrant. So we can have our all stations to central, which means that sine is negative in this quadrant. So what that's going to mean is sine 210 degrees is going to be equivalent to minus, because it's in this quadrant, sine of 30 degrees. Then we can look at our exact values, so we can look at our special triangles, and sine of 30 is equal to a half, so sine of 210 will be equal to minus a half. Let's have a look at one more example. So our next example is cos 330 degrees. So we start the same way, we'll draw a little diagram. 330 degrees is going to be in our fourth quadrant, so it's going to be over this direction somewhere. If that's 330 degrees, then our related angle in there will be 30 degrees again. And then we know all stations to central, so cos is positive in this quadrant. So that means that cos 330 degrees is going to be equivalent to cos of 30 degrees. And again, looking at our exact values and our special triangles, that is equal to root 3 over 2. So in these problems, we're looking for the related angles, and then if we can, if it's a 30 degree, 45 or 60 degree angle, we're using our exact values. All right, so that's a few examples of trigonometry problems involving quadrants.